Journalists are not welcome in Nauru. Neither are lawyers, human rights advocates, or even concerned citizens. This isolated Pacific nation plays host to 2 detention centres the Australian and Nauruan governments would rather you didn't see. 18 months ago, asylum seekers on board the Tampa were intercepted en route to Australia. They were diverted to Nauru and John Howard's so-called Pacific solution was born. It's a plan to detain and process asylum seekers outside of Australia.
The ship! We are hostage!
Out of sight and away from access to Australian courts and appeals. I'm in Nauru as a transit passenger on the way to Fiji. I have 3 days. I've come to investigate rumours that have reached Australia. Rumours of a major crisis at the smaller of the 2 detention centres.
The asylum seekers marched towards the entrance of the gate and were throwing stones and trying to force their way out of the camps.
The APS people were trying to block them from trying to get out of the detention centre, and asylum seekers were beating them up with rocks.
On Christmas Eve, a major riot broke out at the camp, leaving many injured.
There were a number of Australian Protective Service men that were hit by stones. One in particular that I know suffered a cut to his forehead and needed suturing.
Since then, all services and staff have been withdrawn from inside the camp, and the asylum seekers have been left to fend for themselves. The perimeter of the camp is guarded by the Australian Protective Service. APS is a branch of the Australian Federal Police. Knowing I won't be let in at the front gate, I go round the back way.
The fence for the detention centre is just behind me now. I can hear people talking and music playing. I'm going to go up now and see if I can find anyone to talk to. Tell me the story.
I tell you the story now.
Actually, come down here, it's better. Come.
You are from Australia? Or
Yeah, from Australia.
I mean, what the name of the journal?
Diari, who like nearly everyone else here is Iraqi, is the first person I speak to.
So, I want to know my future. I want to know where I'm going to end up.
Tell me about the riot in December. What happened?
Don't tell me about the riot. You want the story of the painful. You want to listen to the grief of the
Yeah, but
people.
I want to know why is.
We have the right to express our point of view. If you believe you are coming from a country, you believe in democracy. If you believe it, I don't know. You have to give me the right also to express my point of view.
I do, I absolutely do.
Okay, why when I'm asking someone what will happen to me, I don't get any answer.
The asylum seekers in this camp have had their claims rejected, but to their immense frustration, they haven't been told where they will go next, or indeed if they will leave at all.
If you don't want these people, you say those people are illiterate people and they are uncivilized people, put them in the plane and send them back. You can't solve all the problem. It's better keeping their people here inside this shit and watching them they are suffering. We have been transferred from Manos.
Back in Iraq, Diari was an engineer. He's multilingual and acts as my interpreter. This is the 16th month of detention for these people. Their desperation is evident. Sadisa fled Iraq after her husband was arrested and killed by the government. She's in the camp with her children.
I want to go out from here. I want to leave this place. It is very unfair.
تعبنا قلنا والله تعبنا.
I get tired.
نفسيتنا تعبت بعد ما نتحمل.
I can't stand it anymore.
قلنا والله البارحة ابني راح يحط ايده بالكهرباء، قلها الله عليك والله راح يحط ايده.
ترجم بعدين يقول ليش احكي ما ترجم.
يعني يسجل خليه يسجل. ابن راد يحط ايده بالكهرباء، صار لنا شهر هنا تاركينا، لا اكل ولا شرب ولا ماي ولا سجاير ولا اي شيء ولا طبيب. يعني احنا شنو سوينا؟ احنا شنو ذنبنا؟ وين راحت الانسانيه؟ وين راحت حقوق الانسان؟ استراليا وين راحت؟
Is someone watching out for APS?
Yeah, I told some people to patrol the APS.
Wasan is here with her 2 small children. Her husband is living in Australia on a temporary protection visa, but she's been denied asylum. There are 7 women in Nauru in exactly this situation.
زين احنا صارنا 3 سنين هنا، 3 سنين مفارقين ازواجنا، زين شنو ذنب هذول الاطفال اللي لحد الان ما شايفين اطفال، ما شايفين ابهاتهم، زين واذا اشوف ابوها ما راح تعرفه.
Yeah, is it safe?
Yeah, you can. But
What about APS?
no, APS,
Okay, I'll go under.
I'm eventually invited into the camp. It's possible only because all staff have been withdrawn. I'm given a chador to wear, so I'm not seen by the Australian police at the front gate.
Okay, yeah. Quick.
One and too much hot.
Yeah.
You know, I baby, sleep baby, too much hot. Hot.
Nauru is already extremely hot and humid, but under the tin roof and plastic sheeting, the temperature is oppressive. As people pile into the room, desperate to tell their story, the most striking thing is their poor psychological state. This man's family has been devastated by detention.
5%. All they lost something. My big son lost his brain, now crazy. My wife so crazy. My small daughter, she forget our language. She don't know how to speak. My son, another one, his hand broken. About 10 months, no one take him to hospital.
This is his eldest son. He's had depression for 7 months and says he's now addicted to his medication. The depression came on after he was refused asylum.
I'm taking 5 tablets per day.
قلها نفس الشيء من مانوس وبنارو هنا نفس الحالة، حبوب عايشين على العقاقير الطبية. على الحبوب على العقاقير الطبية. Yes, you can go now.
I'm again given a change of clothes so I can move freely around the camp. Conditions here are harsh. The International Organisation for Migration, the IOM, is responsible for providing food and medical care here, but they left 4 weeks ago, taking all staff and services with them. The people here say they're living on food that was already in storage. A tiny amount has been dropped at the gate. Supplies are dwindling and they're being forced to ration to sometimes 1 meal a day. They're boiling up milk that's past its expiry date to feed to the children.
ماي ماكو وصاخه واحنا متبهدلين ولا نغسل، صار لنا الشهر لا غاسلين لا مغيرين ملابسنا والايو ام تاركنا وكل شيء ماكو. اخذ شوف الحكومه.
They also complain there's no running fresh water and they're being forced to rely on rainwater.
No, water, no.
Water not coming. Everything is finished.
The IOM denies they are withholding food and water. They acknowledge that medical services can only be obtained outside the camp.
الشيء اللي اقول لك يا انا بنتي البارحه اتخربطت وقبلها مات شو اسمه قامت تطيق، فما اعطوها شراب، والشراب اللي اعطوها الاي بي اس اعطوها كلش مقدار قليل يعني بحيث ماكو اي خاشوقه هذا، وبنتي حاله تطيق يعني ومسخنه كانت ذاك الوقت. زين يعني اذا صار يعني انا ما ادري مسؤوليه منو هذول الاطفال اللي يتمرضون هنا وما لهم اي دواء ولا علاج. زين
The man responsible for the asylum seekers being in Nauru is Federal Immigration Minister Philip Ruddock.
In State House, is it acceptable to have people, including women and children, inside the camp? Now, they're claiming they don't have enough food or they don't have enough fresh water or supplies, and no one providing basic services?
Well, let me just say that food and water, no matter how many times you suggest that it is not available, is provided.
And what are they providing? Is it each day, every...
As I understand it, every day food and fresh water is provided. Now, the fact that they tell you, for the purposes of trying to evoke sympathy, that that's not available is, I think, not creditable.
I didn't see any fresh food.
Well, and people may well have put it away. You could have been playing a game of hide and seek. Let me just say, that provision is made, and I am assured that that provision is made daily. But putting that to one side, if people behave in a way which puts those who are servicing their need in danger of physical injury, they cannot expect to receive the same level of service.
Worsen was at the front line of the riot that ended the IOM's presence in the camp. The asylum seekers tell a different story to that being told around Nauru.
احنا من طلعنا على الطلعه مالتنا يعني ما احنا مأذيهم باي شيء نساء بس طلعنا بالباب وقعدنا يعني نطلب الحريه حريه اطفالنا حريتنا.
Worsen says that on the 24th of December, the 7 women who've been refused permission to join their husbands in Australia went to the gates with placards. Some of the other women joined them.
بقينا واقفين بالباب ساعة ساعتين ما حد يجي يهدئنا ولا حد يحاكينا وكأننا كلاب. واحد من الIOM يقول هذول كلاب ينبحون ويسكتون.
They claim that a Nauruan policeman then slapped one of the crying women in the face. The situation erupted.
من ضربوا النساء بعد ما تحملنا وقفنا ندافع عن نفسنا انه ذولا مجرمين ممكن ان يقتلونا.
بعدين تهجموا علينا بالحجار. هم والشرطة الحكومة النوروية بالحجار. ذبحوا لنا بالحجار واحنا ما نعرف منين يجينا الحجار.
The asylum seekers say what followed was a rock fight. They admit that they were throwing rocks, but say it was in retaliation. This man is a Nauruan police officer who was at the scene. At his request, we've disguised his identity. He says the asylum seekers threw rocks first, but also accuses Australian guards of throwing rocks back.
And who started returning the stones? So the APS officers threw stones? Why did the asylum seekers return to camp? Last week I also spoke with a Nauruan policeman who said that the Nauruan police threw rocks back at the asylum seekers and some members of the APS joined in. Are you aware of that?
No, I've not heard that report, and I don't know of it, but I wouldn't give it very much credence.
On the same day as the rock fight, the asylum seekers vented their anger against the IOM by destroying their on-site office. While some of the women here say they are desperate for the IOM to return with their supplies of food and water, for Diari at least, this is not the point.
I want to go out. If IOM has the power to get me out, they will come. If they can't, what for?
But won't you need food soon?
Why do you think always about the food? Food doesn't mean life. Okay, I keep you, in this place, and I give you food and water, that's all. You will be happy? So, I ask all Australian people, I will provide, if someone is providing the food and everything to them, they will feel stuck, they will be confined behind the fence. They feel happy? They told me they are cannibals.
While everyone here is suffering as a result of the riot, some have paid a higher price than others. Ahmed has been accepted by the UN as a refugee. On the 16th of January this year, he was due to fly to New Zealand for a new life.
يوم 15 بشهر تمرضت ودوني المستشفى من المستشفى ودوني للسجن. سالت الشرطه النايره وقلت ليش انا جبتوني اللي جاي؟ قالوا والله مو ذنب هذا اللي الايام جابوك اللي جاي ما لنا علاقه. يوم 16 بالشهر اجت طياره طارت وقالوا لكونك مشاغب. يابا شنو سبب الشغب؟ شنو اللي مسويه انا؟ قالوا ما ندري احنا ما لنا علاقه. جماعتي راحوا نيوزيلندا وانا عافوني بدون اكل.
This is just one in a series of complaints asylum seekers have about their time in Nauru. More than one claims to have spent time in Nauru's prison without explanation or charge. Others claim IOM staff members have bullied them and granted favours to asylum seekers who inform against others. The IOM has not yet been able to respond to these claims.
I was unconscious because I was taking tablets.
There are even more complaints about the process of determining their applications. Abbas says he was so doped up on antidepressants at the time of his interview that he forgot to show them his supporting documentation and doesn't even recall what he said. Because they've had no communication with the outside world since December, many of the asylum seekers want me to take letters to post to their family.
She's husband. Write in paper for him.
Worsen has written one for her husband, Jafar. Jafar fled Iraq before his wife and is now living in Sydney on a temporary protection visa. He hasn't heard any news from his wife in 6 weeks and has been desperately worried.
ما أعرف كل اتصال عنهم، ما عندي كل أخبار، بس حالة نفسية أعيش بيها، يعني عايش غليان نفسي، ما أعرف اللي شنو مصير أطفالي اللي صاير.
I play for Jafar some of the footage I shot inside State House. Other than a few photos, he hasn't seen his family for 3 years.
قلنا بس صوري هذا خليه يشوف ابوه لان هذا
Smile.
How long since he's seen his father? Does he remember his father well?
تتذكر ابوك زين؟
تتذكر ماما؟
No.
بس يسمع صوته بالتليفون.
I just hear his voice in there.
عن المحامين كيفية عن المحامين.
يعني رجاء وصلوا هذا الصوت الخاطر هذه الاطفال الابرياء.
Just for the children's sake, convey our voice.
يعني أمنيتي بالحياة بس كون أضم أطفالي إلى صدري وألتقي مع زوجتي وبأي بلاد تكون.
In the late afternoon, the electricity comes on. A group of men gather by fans for a brief respite from the heat. They talk politics, Australian politics.
احنا بالنهايه احنا نعرف كل زين انه احنا ضحيه قرار الباسفيك واحنا لازم نبقى عبره لمن نعتبر عبره للي يفكرون يجون لاستراليا انه اللي يفكر يجي لاستراليا راح يكون مصيره مصير هذول اللي موجودين هنا مستقبلهم ضايع حياتهم ضايعه.
There is one question that everyone in this camp continually refers to.
We want to know this answer to this question. I hope someone will answer to us one day. How long? How long are we going to stay here? How long? How long?
Minister, how long will the failed Iraqi asylum seekers in Nauru be kept in detention?
Well, strictly speaking, people aren't formally detained. They're there for processing and for removal.
But how long will this take? I mean, these people have been in detention now for 16 months. When will they leave?
Well, as with Australia, it occurs on exactly the same basis. If people are prepared to cooperate in applying for documentation, they can be returned very quickly. If they procrastinate, delay, if they think that delay will occasion their release into the Australian community, they're going to be sorely disappointed.
There's no doubt this camp is one of despair.
We feel tired and we feel depression. We can't doing anything, just crying. And Iraq and dangerous.
What do you do all day?
Just to cry and thinking.
Despite being rejected as refugees, the people here clearly can't return to Iraq at the moment. Their future remains uncertain, and most seem unable to cope with the prospect of continued detention.
What do you want for yourself?
Me, now I won't die. I don't have any future. I won't die now. Because I don't have any future. I don't know where's my future. Where's I go? I stay to here. All the my life I stay to here. Why?